this meeting is going to be recorded. I hope it's fine with everyone. Good evening, everyone who has joined in. Thank you for making time out on a Sunday evening for joining this interesting session with us. Introducing myself, I'm Naveen. I graduated from IIT Bombay in 2014, did chemical engineering there. Currently I work with a company called Hyperverge. We are a B2B SaaS product company. We provide identity verification services for other businesses. So if you are, in the fintech space or in the crypto space, or if you're basically onboarding customers, you should be checking our product out, right? I have my this session is going to be hosted by Abhishek as well. Hey Abhishek, would you like to take a minute to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, hi. This is Abhishek this side, and I'm pretty old compared with this network. So I'm founder with Zozo Day. I'm pretty sure most of you would have heard about Zozo Day. Zozo Day is an R&R and incentive software system. Currently, I'm in hometown, Jamshedpur, taking the call from here. Okay, I'm glad to be hosting all of you, and all the best to you. Over to you, Navi.
Awesome. Thanks, Abhishek. So right now to start things off, we're going to have Lata ma'am, speak for start the address, and then we will have over to our startups and go round robin, right? So before Lata ma'am actually takes the stage, I would like to introduce her. So Lata ma'am has had a very interesting professional journey. As she was an executive director at IIT Madras Alumni Association for the last 6 years, and she was instrumental in achieving excellent alumni engagement and bringing about a transformation for the organization, right? And prior to that, she served as the CEO of an edtech company called Think Big Ventures. And this company was a pioneer in online education and introduced MOOCs in India. Her most memorable professional experience is the 3 years that she spent with TAI Chennai as a general manager, which gave her many new friends for life, right? So welcome, Lata ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Naveen and Abhishek, for hosting this, and thank you for Bangalore chapter for calling me today. Welcome one of all of you for a lovely Sunday evening. It's really warm to see this. So I joined IIT Bombay Alumni Association in January, and it's extremely new here, but just looks like an extension of what I've been doing in IIT Madras. So I've had a lot of friends here, in the association office and amongst the alumni, and the journey so far has been, truly amazing to see the amount. Having worked with IIT Madras, and now I would say that the depth that alumni are involved in the IIT Bombay Alumni Association is fantastic, and I'm sure each one of you know what you are doing, so I don't have to talk about it. So some of the things, I think after 2 years of, all testing times, now we are back with more activities and hope we could do these kind of more get-togethers in person. And I'm looking forward to coming to Bangalore to meet you all very soon. And as far as what today is concerned, or the startup is something personally very, very close to my heart. I'm very excited that the Bangalore chapter started this, because there has been talks in the association for a very long time to do some kind of consistent programs for startups, not just these kind of pitching programs, but what are the other support systems that we could do. And we are definitely trying to build something on that model. There are talks to maybe set up a cohort every quarter and then see whether we can take some create some ideas to products or take some products to market, help our ecosystem. So these are some of the things, then helping our startups with some venture funding. So these are some of the talks that we are having, and I'm sure we will reach out to each one of you through the chapter to do some great work. And I think currently the board and we are trying to see where we need to go next, and what we need to do, or rather what we need to do that you want, right? So that's exactly the way that we would look forward. So soon we hope to come up with, some kind of questions to understand what is that you are looking from the Alumni Association? What are you looking from this amazing network? And what, as an central office, we can help the chapter or the alumni. So that's the path that we are taking to. And we will definitely reach out to each one of you for your suggestions. Meanwhile, you're please free to write to me on ceo.iitbaa@iitbombay.org. And, I'll leave my number and email ID in the chat box. Please do connect and do come over to campus, and very happy to, have a lunch or a coffee or just maybe have a chat. It'd be lovely to have you all. So have a very good evening. I'm very excited to hear all the great ideas as much as all of you are. And thank you, Bangalore chapter, and have a rocking evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Lata ma'am. This is very, very interesting and inspiring to hear. Would love some support from the chapter and from the Alumni Association as well, right? So it will be great for for us to do a lot of, let's say, engaging activities to help startups out and and bring out some great companies from our alumni. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Awesome. So right now we will move on to each of the startups, and we'll have like some pitching sessions with them. And to do that, I would like to invite my co-host Abhishek to introduce the amazing companies that we have lined up today. Abhishek, over to you.
Thanks, Naveen, and welcome all again. And I think we have got around 9 companies today who will be presenting their ideas to all of us, and I will be sharing their knowledge and their learning. I think so. The companies who will be presenting are Palps Technologies, presented by Vinod. Then Clean Water, Priyanshu Kumar. Carbon Cards by Sunil Kumar. Arju by Vinod. Falcon X Accelerator by Naveen Alluri. Third Place by Nilesh Sakodi. Tofoli by Durga Prasad. Hakimo by Chandra Mohan Meena. Unfortunately, we are not able to, one of the companies are not able to join today, Bliv by Komal. I think we can have our, in our next session, but I think today, these are the companies who will be presenting. The way we'll start today is, you'll just give a brief introduction about yourself, and then each one of you would talk about your company, what you do, and the format that you've decided to take it through. We have a fixed timeline, so let's work towards. So to start with, I think I'll invite Vinod to introduce about his company, Palps Technology. Vinod, over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Abhishek. Absolutely honored to start the session of startups. But before I start, I want to understand, do we get
Hey Vinod, we are not able to get you properly.
There, and I would love to do something.
Vinod, there is some network issue
Hello?
from your end.
Yeah.
Okay, let me set up a video. Hello, is it better now?
A little
Hello?
better, yes.
Yeah, but the video is stuck, Vinod.
Okay, great. No, I cut off the video probably.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Say some bad, but
Yeah, please continue.
yeah, I'm traveling. I'm in the car, but yeah, I think that should be fine now. So I was asking, so do we get the screen share option, or should we just speak? I'm fine with either of that, but there is
I
a
can
screen
make
share.
sure to host Vinod, and then you can do the screen share. Just a minute.
Yeah, since we have a very small time, I would usually want to put that as well.
So seems like I don't know, Regis, can you make him co-host?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt here.
I can.
Can all the companies presenting today rename yourself so that we can quickly, make you the co-host?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Vinod, I have made you the co-host now.
So just as Ratan said, I think let's make all of the companies that are presenting a co-host so that we don't waste time over there.
Yeah, I'll do that parallelly. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Yes. Start. Is it good to start?
It's good to start, Vinod. Please go ahead.
All right. So much. All right. So in this company called Palpix, we are a startup in Blue, and I'm first of I am 2012-14 passed out from IDC, and with my we started this company with my batchmate from computer science, Subhash, and then few of my other colleagues from previous companies. So we started as a product company, and we moved from a concept to more of a service concept, and predominantly the service concept is serving the startups. So I introduce the modern.
I'm not able to hear anything. Is it the same with everyone?
That
I got dropped.
that
I don't know where. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Hello. Can you hear me? Rajesh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, fine. I hope you can see my screen also. Let me repeat that. I think we lost for a few minutes.
Can't see your screen.
We can't
So just
see
to
your
give you
screen,
an
Vinod.
I think there's a lot of issues that why don't you take some time off and then just fix the issue that your side rejoin. In the meantime, we'll just move on to the next company. Then once you rejoin, we can have you after this one, right?
Yeah, I think
that
we
should
can
be
see the
fine
screen.
too. If you can see my screen, I will just continue the 5 minutes and then we can move on. I mean, again, be another has because I'm also traveling. So,
We can see your screen.
is it if it's visible? Okay, great. Let me just quickly introduce, what is Falpix and share the context. Maybe we can have a detailed chat later if required. So to give you an overview, yes, I passed out from 2012-14 batch, and we started this company with a batchmate from computer science, who's from the same batch and same hostel 5, and then few of my colleagues. And we started as a product company, but then we later called PTAS. PTAS stands for Product Team as a Service. So that's what I want to do. Give you an overview. We do have our office in Bangalore, and we also our office in Dubai and Sydney. Sydney, we also have a new company. Now, just hello. Hello.
Yes, Vinod, we can hear you.
Yeah, you want the
Okay,
game.
great. So as a company, we primarily focus on end-to-end of product development for startups. Like the whole idea is that we act as a back-end engineering team for them, meaning starting from custom, as in starting from an ideation stage to taking to market and scaling them. And just some of the services what we offer. Yeah, it might look quite a lot, but if you put together, all of it is required for most of the startups. And since our own startups, the product and care, education, and retail, all of them have something other to do with AI. So we primarily have some strong AI whole team there, and UX and software development team takes care of the production of the entire product development bit. And then we have the branding and digital marketing, the creative team focusing on the communication bit. So now talking about the solution. So this is where I want to go a little bit more detail. So we offer 3 types of solution. One, being a creative or a design partner for companies, which means we take care of end-to-end of all the creative needs from your UX or your brand communication and everything. And then we act as a deep tech partner, meaning we kind of act as a layer in and some companies we are there, the backend AI machine learning working with. And then PTAS or the product team as a service is the model which we have. Let me show this. I hope you all can see this. Yes. So primarily, this is focused on non and solo founders, meaning people who have ideas in the recent times with the surge in startup investments and the ecosystem is growing. We see a lot of people start having confidence in the start of their ideas. So when people with experience of 20, 30 years in their ideas, they want to go to market. When not from the background, so they put a tech team together, quickly put a tech team together. It might take time. By the time they realize they want to go to market and they set everything up, they lose the passion or maybe they dead already. So to avoid that and to help such solo founders and non-tech founders, we kind of brought this collaborate model. So how does this PTAS work? So we kind of work with a startup from -2, -1, which is you just got an idea, you don't know how to start and where to go about, or to a level you already have an MVP in place, or you have a prototype in place, or you have already scaled as in you are in the market, you have traction, but you wanted to make it to the next stage, which is scaling the product. Whatever the stage may be, since we have done this for ourselves, we have launched product and sold it, scaled it, even holding one of the product on healthcare in EdTech now. So we identify the need of each startup because everything is unique, and then we customize a plan for them. So we can't work with everybody, all the ideas, but we choose handpick the ideas and kind of create a plan and a team for them, and then work with them end to end until launch and post launch scaling. So this kind of giving us a lot of traction as a service company to work with multiple founders. We are working with 8 funded startups now. In and 2 in fashion and in agriculture and the agri-tech and food tech, and others in e-commerce in another so what is this founder, mostly founders when they get into the complete product development cycle, at times it is difficult for them to build team finance, they spend time while they really go into operations or logistics, but the kind of effort they wanted to put in another part of it, they might lack strength, and that's where we wanted to help them. And we also help them in solving the tunnel vision of the problem not having different perspectives, and that's where our product thinking philosophy come into play. And quickly to wrap it up, yes, product thinking define a culture in the product. Otherwise, it is you outsourcing something and you're just getting it delivered. So no, but you need a product thinking for any startups to scale that, and that's where we differ from a regular outsourcing to this. And I think now with this and with the surge in a lot of ideas getting implemented as their own way to disrupt the market, and we are there to help companies. And I would want to close it here, but I'll share the contact and details here to have a detailed conversation how this model works. Similar to a SaaS or PaaS model, we want to create a product team as a service as a model to help founders to build their startups. So thanks for the opportunity and being the first to present. I know that's gonna give an opportunity to show all the companies who are gonna present now and other founders who have ideas and other fellow alumni who wanted to build something. We could just have a chat or a session to understand what's that you wanted to build and help you in shaping it. We're more than happy to do that, and thank you so much. That's it from my end. And if given a chance, I can go in detail on few of the case studies or some of the projects, funded startups. How we are helping them scale.
Thanks, Vinod. Thanks for a wonderful, presentation and intro about your company. So, as a format to this discussion today, what what we'll do is, we will also let people to get into one-on-one discussion with you, or maybe a group discussion with you. Whoever wants to do a network out with you, we will allow them to do it at the end of the journey. So far, if
Sure,
anyone
sure.
have any questions, I mean, you can either post, you can ask. We'll just take 2 minutes to have some questions around it. If you have some questions, guys, please ask. Vinod is here to answer. If not, then we'll
Yeah.
move on to the next company, which is your clean water. And I think Priyanshu Kumar will present that. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes just to check if anyone has any questions, anything.
Sure. And just to add to that, since we work with these funded startups, we also closely work with their investors, which means even their investors refer us to their portfolio companies, and they are more than happy to refer some other startups who we work with to look at their pitch and see if there is a possible investment. Like the founders, the investors are also looking for good ideas and startups. So happy to give some references or connects. If we could come up with some interesting ideas which can be referred to.
So I think in the interest of time, what we'll do is we'll have all the questions ready at the end of the session, and keep the questions ready.
Yeah,
for all
that should be great. I think we should.
Yeah, we'll move on to the
Thank you
next
so much.
thing, which is your clean water by Priyanshu Kumar. Priyanshu, you there?
Yes, Abhishek, I'm here.
Yeah, over to you, Priyanshu.
Sure. So, Abhishek, what's the format like? How much time do you have to present and how much for Q&A?
All right. Well, so I think 5 to 7 minutes is what we are dedicating to each intro. I think that is what it is. And
so Priyanshu, we'll have 5 to 7.
Yeah.
So Priyanshu will have 5 to 7 minutes for presentation, and the Q&A will be at the end.
Got it.
Go with that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Over to you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hope you all are good. So let me kind of quickly give you a peek of what this is about. And so I am Priyanshu Kumar, IIT Bombay batch 2008 to 12, civil engineering. And I'm working in the sector of restoring water bodies through a sustainable, scalable product called floating islands that you see on the screen here. So we're called Clean Water, and we're registered as Sustainable Water Technologies Private Limited. What we do is we restore and beautify water bodies. These floating platforms that you see are products. So we're into hardware products, which kind of look like this. Basically, in order to bring an impact of restoring water bodies, this is what we do. So we manufacture floating islands. We make platforms of different shapes and sizes, wetlands, which can be planted across the world on any water body, river, lake, pond, etc. And we're restoring and beautifying water bodies through artificial floating wetlands. That's how we are going about it. So we've made different product variants, different specifications, material sizes, loads that it can take, and easy one-day installation on any water body, providing 3 major benefits: beautification of the water body, the complete ecological restoration and restoration of biodiversity by providing habitat, and also water quality improvement and removing the nutrients, heavy metals, BOD, COD from water. So the thing is, there are thousands and lakhs and millions of water bodies out there, right? Ponds, lakes, rivers, drains, everything. You can't really follow a services-based approach in this sector because you'll be only able to cater to 50, 100, 200 water bodies, right? If you become a consultant at DPR, right? So you need sustainable products which could be manufactured centrally and shipped across to any water body across the globe and installed there within a day. And then the nature takes effect. These how nature cleanses itself, how wetlands clean themselves. This is how floating islands would clean the water. And so we've made different products for different for lakes, rivers, and all. How we kind of how floating islands work is let me quickly show you a video. So floating islands are these floating platforms floating on water, and the wetland species of plants planted on top of it, and the roots of them eventually extend into the water. And friendly bacteria in the water come and attach to the biomedia as well as the plant roots, and together the plants and the microbes settle the sediments and uptake nitrogen, phosphorus, heavy metals for a cleaner water. This is how they clean the water. Now, these biofilms are eaten by small organisms, which are eaten by fishes and bigger organisms, and eventually harvested out of the water by birds and humans. So thus, floating islands kind of clean the water, restore the entire ecology, and while providing an aesthetic facelift at the same time. We've made different product variants, could cater to multiple sites, lakes, rivers, etc. So this is what we do. Kind of quickly showing you also a case where like this. This is the lake which we restored in Indore. We had, sorry for that. We got the award of Water Hero from Jal Shakti central government for this lake restoration project. This was done through floating islands inside Police Training College campus. These are floating islands. The problem with this lake was anything that would fall in this lake would decompose, rot, and make the water green because of the plastic pond liner. The nutrients had nowhere else to go. And then algae would come, eat up these nutrients, this food, and multiply. So we have put up bigger organisms which eat up all of the food and take up all of the nutrients and heavy metals and pollutants, thereby cleaning the water. This is one of the projects that we did as well. So this is how we're going about it to kind of tell you. So we are into B2B and B2G sales. Water bodies are being owned by the government, and B2B through CSR channels and organizations in the water sector restoring water bodies. So this is a primary revenue channel, but I'll come to another business model which would excite kind of all of you. Quickly kind of going through the projects or the water bodies that we worked on, including Sabarmati Riverfront, Ahmedabad, and lakes across Indore, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, now Delhi as well. All right. So another business model which we're trying to open right now is through a PPP model, a public-private partnership. So for example, when government has to build highways and does not have the money, right, it invites private contractors to come in, put in money from their own pocket, and then they recover the investment through toll booths over a certain period of time. Imagine if you could do something similar for water bodies. Imagine if I could go to approach the government and tell them, hey, give all your 20 lakes in your city on lease to me. I will make the investment, I will restore them, I will ensure the water stays clean and the lake is good. But then I will recover my investment through multiple channels, such as farming fish in the water, doing something around the lake, on the water, under the water, on the islands, boating, tourism. So through multiple channels, through maybe advertisements, etc. So this is another model that we're working on. A PPP model for restoring water bodies with floating islands in the midst of the action, and basically setting up floating islands in the water and generating revenue out of them while cleaning the water bodies at the same time. So this is what we're doing right now, caters to multiple sustainable development goals. We worked with Shapoji Palanji, Department of Atomic Energy, etc. Yeah, so this is a brief about us. Maybe I'll pause here and invite questions.
Thanks, Priyanshu. That's an amazing work that you are doing there, and all the best.
Thank you.
We will, wait for the questions at the end of the session. We'll move out to our next company, which is Carbon Cards by Sunil. So Sunil, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me and see my presentation. If one guy can say yes, that would be great.
Yeah, Sunil. I mean, we can all see it. Let's go ahead.
Okay. All right. So myself, Sunil, 2001 IIT Bombay mechanical engineer. So that's my brief introduction about who I am and how I want to be recognized. I know there would be a lot of folks who would be young here and they might be thinking of doing a startup. I started quite late. As you can see, imagine 2001. I hope a lot of you would get inspiration from, some senior folks like me and some young folks like, Priyanshu, who is doing amazing work. And hopefully you start your startup journey and we, as part of IITB startup community, help you in your journey. I think that is at least my goal. Instead of talking about my product, I did put my contacts at the last of the slide, and if there is something I can help, please do let me know. All right. With that, I will just get started. So we are a corporate credit card company. We provide credit card to startups primarily. In fact, our base consists of 2/3 of startups. So that is what we do, and that is how we support startups in our country. All right. We do target primarily VC funded startups, but if you're a profitable company, we would be able to give you credit, or at least give you a card which is free of cost. There are no costs whatsoever. In terms of some of our customers, a lot of our customers are unicorns listed and whatnot. So by this slide, I'm just telling you our card does work and a lot of people use it. And hopefully, if you are looking for a corporate card, we can help you in that. Now, in terms of limits, we have given limits up to 25 crores, which is a huge limit. But again, it depends on your financials. So that is something I would like you to consider when you are thinking about applying for a corporate credit card and use it to basically run your business. In terms of various things that, how the corporate card would help you, a lot of you would be using cloud services from AWS or Google, or you're using SaaS services or travel. So at all of these places, you would want a corporate credit card, and that's where we can come in from pizza to AWS bill. Okay. Apart from just using the card, we have something what we call as expense management, where you can basically go to the WhatsApp, and after making a purchase, just take a receipt of that transaction. And then that transaction is tracked, and basically that information is shared with finance team also. So that basically kind of like makes it a whole package. So it's not just a card, there is an expense management and multiple other pieces that you would want to have in your card, which typically would not have on your personal credit card. And now we have moved beyond the card. We are getting into banking, and using our card, you can not just make card payments, but you can also make payments to your vendors who are not accepting cards. So we call it payout, and these transactions are enabled 24/7. And then there are a lot of features that you would not find in your bank account. In fact, I would say that 25% of our customers who are using our banking feature are doing salary dispersals through this banking. So you can think about the power and the trust they put in our system to do their day-to-day business. These are some testimonies. We are decently funded, and some of our investors are running big companies. So Jupiter is one of our investors, and his CEO Jitendra basically invested in our company. We have raised decent money, and we are using that money to provide credit to you guys so that you can run your business. That's all. Nothing fancy. These are my details. I would love to help young or even old guys who are thinking of doing a startup, and they don't know where to start, or if they're stuck, what to do. That would be something I would be really glad to do, and I would enjoy doing that. So you guys can reach out to me. Of course, if you're looking for a corporate card, you can reach out to me also, and I will try my best to at least get you a card, and hopefully with a good credit limit that you can use to run your business. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sunil. Thanks for a wonderful presentation over there. Next, we invite Vinod from RQ to take through his presentation and through his company ideas. Vinod, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sure. Over to you, Vinod. Let's get started.
Yeah, just give me a second. All right. Hi, my name is Vinod. I'll come to introducing myself later, right? But I want to show you what our little product does here. So this is magiceraser.io. I'm actually going to show you a live demo of this, of what we do here. Right. So I'm going to select an image to edit. Just give me a second. Yeah. So this is an, sorry. right? So this is an image that I've selected, and I'm just going to select this little duck here with a brush stroke and then click erase, right? So and that's it, right? So essentially, we are a company that does computer vision in one way, shape, or form. We are 4 founders. Apart from me, there's Bharat, who's also an IIT Bombay alum, who's not here, and then Akhilesh, who's a BITS alum, and Vivek, who's from IIT Jodhpur. What we do is, among other things, first Magic Eraser, which I'd encourage you to just go and try out. There's some non-trivial AI at work here. Typically, if you wanted to do an edit like this, what would the use case be? Maybe you want to post something on Instagram, and when you took the picture, there was maybe a kid running across or a puppy in your picture that you don't want there, right? So literally in a few seconds, you can just roughly airbrush those things out, and the AI does the job of filling in the image. The really cool and sometimes unnerving part of this is the AI fills it in with almost human-like imagination, right? Our forte is we build computer vision models that understand images like human beings. Some of you, I'm sure, have heard of DALI or DALI 2, actually, which OpenAI launched a few days ago. And it comes from the same family of AI or computer vision models that we use to power our services as well. When I say our models understand images like human beings, what we do differently is our models are actually trained on the internet to understand correlations between text and images and make semantic sense of what is happening in images, right? So we do a bunch of things apart from what you see with Magic Eraser or IO. We also run labeling services. Rakuten is one of our customers. We provide search, and our search is semantically far more expansive. So for example, if picture with a pair and you were looking for clothes to go to the beach with, we would be able to match your intent to what is there in the image, even though there is no beach in the image, or even though beach is not mentioned in the description at all, right? So in a nutshell, we are computer vision junkies. We're building products around computer vision. And I'm actually going to stop talking because the best proof here is when you go and try it out on the website for yourself, right? So,
thank you, Vinod, and all the best for your endeavors. I think this is an amazing product, and all of us, we need this kind of product day in, day out, right? So all the best for your journey, and I think we'll look forward to more such products from your kitty.
thank you, Abhishek. Yeah.
So over to Naveen. Naveen, you would want to take ahead with the other startups?
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. Yes, I think there's going to be there's a misnomer here. Naveen from FalconX, you're going to be next. Over to you.
Hi, thanks. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thanks so much for inviting me. Hi, this is Naveen. First thing, we are not a startup. We are a global accelerator based out of Silicon Valley. Second, I am from IIT Madras 2006 batch. And I worked for Qualcomm and Samsung in the US, then did a startup. We exited in 2020. And I've been working as an entrepreneur in resident at FalconX in Silicon Valley. FalconX is a global accelerator shaping startups for success through mentorship, investment, and access to VCs and customer introductions. It was started in 2018 by 9 serial entrepreneurs and who wanted to create a platform to provide strategic and tactical support to entrepreneurs to fine-tune the GTM models, build and scale IP, etc. So we launched in 2018. We have 45 startups in 2019, partnered with accelerator in India called T-Hub. We had various pitch sessions with VCs and CXOs from various corporates. Of course, in 2020 and 21, the in-person activity has reduced, but we have partnered with a Texas-based VC called Pero Jain. We have with a course in entrepreneurship. We did 3 versions of that. We've reopened again, and there are some updates to our startup. One of our startups got acquired. 3 startups raised more than 40 million, and 3 startups raised Series A and 5 closed seed round. These are founding team. All of them have been entrepreneurs, investors, board members, mentors, etc. Some of them you might identify. Ashish Gupta was the founder and managing director of Helion VC. Praveen Akiraju was with SoftBank and now is a partner at Inside Ventures. Raju Reddy was the founder of Sierra Atlantic. Bibi Jagdish is running SV Quad based out of Valley. So overall, our founders are 15 plus exits with 20 to 50 million raised in total, 1 IPO and more than 30 billion in cumulative exit market cap. As mentors, they've been helping startups through investments, mentorship, and various other means. And in that, they have 4 to 5 IPOs, more than 60 billion cumulative market cap. So this is our ecosystem. Some of the startups that are at FalconX are Indian startups that have moved to Silicon Valley, like Seclor, MapMy India, Quantella, Tetrate, and some of them are at various stages of the journey. You can see those here. So I'm specifically here to talk about global immersion program. So we believe the innovation is scattered around the globe, and US being a big market, everyone wants to at least get a soft landing to the market if the startup is ready for that. So we've launched a program from July 1st to August 5th. It's a 5-week program in the Valley. It will be ending with a FalconX Tech Day and 3 startups will get 100 to 100K funding in convertible from FalconX, apart from the interest from the VCs that might this startup receive at the Tech Day. It'll be 12 to 15 startups, 8 from India and 8 from the other 8 from US and rest of the world. It would include one-on-one strategic discussions with domain expert, masterclass led by Bibi Jagdish, pitch sessions and pitch sessions with various VCs, CXOs, networking mixes. Of course, there is a space in Milpitas, Silicon Valley. It'll end with a technology day, and we plan to invite 100 plus VCs, angel investors, and corporate executives. We are looking for any startup that is at pre-series stage, B2B startup, and who believe US is one of their core markets. If you're interested, please do reach out to me or Vinita, my colleague, who is also on the call. I will leave my details in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naveen. That was very, very interesting. Next, we have Nilesh from 3rd place. Nilesh, are you there?
Good evening, everybody. Nilesh here. I'm just sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen, Nilesh.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Nilesh. I'm passed out from IDC IIT Bombay 2000. Those people who are from IIT Bombay Hostel 6, तो मैं थोड़ा घिस मार के आया हूँ. So I don't have any product and services on the place, but mostly I work as a mentor from the UX point of view to the startup. And 20 years of experience working with the different companies. I was working with Honeywell for almost 10 years, Bosch with the 3 years. And prior to that, I was working with the EdTech company. Last 3 years, prominently, I'm working with the startup industry and working as a UX mentor. I joined them as a partner and help them to get, the end-to-end user experience design. So if you see the overall approach for the design, it's more like a connecting dot for me. And since I understand the business point of view, so business viability, users desirability, and the technical feasibility, and how to get a solution in between, which will solve the problem of the wider audiences. So here at third place, we are developing the focus end-to-end user experience, the strategy for the product and services. We also help to uncover the deep insight through the user research, applying user-centered design process for the design execution, instructional design, learning development, and we also conduct the workshop for the people's for innovations and new designs. Our approach is like a double diamond process. It starts with the discover, define, design, and develop. So most of the time, design become extremely important when you are discovering and defining it. So I'm also a Luma expert. We use a lot of new innovation strategies to come up with the right problem statement, and we solve it. I will show you what is the winning definition, what I learned with the hard work and experience when I was representing the 6th product line from Honeywell into North America and Europe. So end product, what or the technology doesn't really give the solution. What exactly you want to have a bigger pie. So when I'm talking about the bigger pie of the success, we have to understand end-to-end journey, how our product and service engages with our end users, how we sell, use, maintain, and upsell. Once you have that end-to-end journey in place, then we have to also have whether backing up technology is a pixel perfect, UI is a pixel perfect, and to give that whole services, the real depth is our design language system. So here at third place, we work on the more of the end-to-end UX strategies. Our journey here starts with the question zero workshop, which really try to understand users' need, stakeholders' requirement. Then we understand how much we know, we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know. On that basis, we start user research, insighting, and all. And on that user research, we come up with the insights, key insights, opportunity areas. We conduct a lot of workshops with the stakeholders and come up with the solutions which will really solve the user problem. So currently I'm working with the Munch Technology. It's a Bangalore-based startup, and I'm a UX partner for them. So what I'm working with them, end-to-end user experience design. So I'm just imbibing UX practices in their team. I'm creating the team for them and also designing their platform design language system, whole rebranding and all, which is releasing very shortly. So Monday is the first bigger launch for the product. So CODR, this is the online dispute resolution. This is again, I'm worked as a UX consultant partner for them and designed the whole platform for those dispute resolution system. Ixia, it's a Bombay-based tech company where we are working with them for creating the whole the product line for them. The Bosch, Spacegraph, DJ Academy, Akshay Patra, these are some of those folks I'm working with very closely. I work with Reshma and me, both are as a partner. So we don't have a team where we outsource the work. Typically, the engagement start with 3 months to 6 months. We try to understand our partners' requirement very well, and we immerse ourselves into the product. And on the basis of requirement of the product and services, we create in-house team, or I have some ecosystem around the designers where we can take a help and quickly turn around and launch the product into the market. So I will be very happy if you have any sort of UX or requirement, please reach out to me. This is my email address, nilesh.apode@gmail.com. You can reach to me on mobile number. So I will keep all my contact in the messages. Thank you very, very much for your patience, and I hope so to partner with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Nilesh. Thank you for that. Next, we have Durga Prasad from Tofoli.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hey Durga, yes, we can hear you.
Yes, let me share my screen quickly. Let me know when you can see my screen.
We can see it now. It's coming up.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I'm from the batch of 2010 mechanical. My co-founder is from the same department, lived in the same hostel. Our JE ranks in the space of 10. But here is a twist. We are 15 years apart. He passed out in 1994. So the core problem we are trying to solve, let me quickly get to the point. The core problem we are trying to solve here is, for the service businesses, any service business, be it restaurants, hotels, movies, salons, they lose money when they don't run at full occupancy. I mean, I've seen a movie with 5 other people in a PVR. I'm sure we were a loss-making show. So it's an age-old problem. People have come and gone trying to solve this, but we believe the ecosystem hasn't been provided with a sustainable solution. I'll outline the problem into 4 parts. One is, any solution where there are blanket discounts, they hurt during peak times. I've seen people coming in with discounts when the tables are full. It hurts the restaurants or even the salons or any other service business. And there is no way to instantly fill the empty seats or the empty occupancy. So the idea is to instantly react and reach out to the customers. And the current strategies, which are marking up discounts, blanket discounts, these are really ineffective and expensive. It's not sustainable based on our experience in the market. And the businesses, the small scale businesses, they're not able to build proactive and loyal relationships with customers. The restaurants, they're going through intermediaries, they're not able to reach out to customers, they're not able to build any loyalty program. The relationships are superficial to the extent that it's discount based. The loyalty is missing. They're not able to communicate their services to their old customers. This is the problem we are trying to solve. Tofoli is a SaaS marketplace solution developed to tackle this problem. The uniqueness of this problem is it's, the dynamic nature where the restaurant or a saloon has an ability to react quickly and offer discounts based on the empty seats. In addition to that, restaurants can leverage underutilization or the variable utilization to market to influencers, the social media influencers, the influencers who can affect the market movement by actively engaging with them. So for example, if I have a restaurant which is empty, I can call up a influencer, say can have a meal in our restaurant for free. So that's how they're able to reach out easily when their occupancy is, when they have an empty seat, or they can give it to someone at a higher discount because their operating leverage is very high. So the point is here, the customer is an active participant in this program, with an ability to publish his requirements, with an ability to talk to a bunch of restaurants, bunch of businesses. Customers can avail better discounts by the inherent power to negotiate. So essentially, we are disrupting the market in such a way that the businesses and customers can actively communicate, actively negotiate, and instantly be able to fill. We trust this solution because the problem is universal. Our idea is unique in the way they interact. From the revenue standpoint, it's a fixed fee services. For each accepted coupon, we'll take a very minimal fee. We build on high volume business. We don't intend to charge high margins from restaurants or salons. The product is built, it's ready to launch, and we are seeing a revenue potential of around at least $100 million USD across geographies, because the problem is universal across service businesses, and more importantly, geographies. Any questions I would like to take? We are ready to launch soon in India, especially in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So, that's not any questions are welcome. Would like to connect with startup accelerators, FalconX especially, given that I got access to them now. Thanks for the opportunity. That's all from my end.
I got a question.
Yes.
So you are launching within one geography at this point, like within India, or you are launching worldwide at the same time?
So we are launching within India in one city for a POC, and more importantly, one line of business, which is the food services business, the restaurants. But based on the success of the POC, and we are willing to launch across cities and across lines of businesses, be it salons, be it on the travel side, on the healthcare side. So that's the idea. It again depends on the success of the POC and also any tweaks that are required to the business model based on our learnings from the POC.
So how are you on the ground level? How are you connecting with the restaurants? How are you going to let them know that you have something like this they can utilize?
See, again, this is a marketplace solution. Although our key thing is to solve the problem which is faced by restaurants because they drive the ecosystem. So again, let me go to the key slide. We have to pick a high dense populated area, which is especially we have pointed towards Bangalore and Hyderabad, where there are a lot of young working population, couples working, students. So that's where we are targeting at this point of time. And more importantly, given that it's a marketplace, we are also solving the chicken and egg problem where, without customers, restaurants are not there, and without restaurants, the customers won't come. So we believe in the networking effect of how the coupon system works, because it calls for more people, more people dine out. That's how the word of mouth helps. And obviously your acquisition cost in the initial phase will be a little higher, given that there's a huge barrier to entry in terms of big players. But the problem we are trying to solve is way different from what they are trying to solve. So that's where we are confident enough to work it out in the market.
Thanks, Durga Prasad. I think for a detailed Q&A, we'll have a separate session for this maybe. I think we have just one more companies left, Hakimo, I guess. So I think we'll just quickly wrap up with that also, and then we can move on to our Q&A sessions. So Chandramohan from Hakimo would like to take the stage.
Yeah, sure. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Nothing that you're sharing, right?
Yeah, I don't have the slide. I didn't, but I can speak. I can share. Yeah. So basically, what we do. So Hakimo.ai is a pure AI company, and our domain is physical security. And what we do is like the problem we are trying to solve is basically in a physical security software system. The way they work is like they trigger alarms in case of any security breach happen. And if you see, and we deal with the big large companies like which have huge offices, like big buildings, and these alarms actually comes in a huge volume. And the problem is that these alarms, most of them are like false alarms. So you will find that most of the security team is spending 80% of their time in clearing these false alarms. So this is one of the biggest problem. And the problem is they need to clear these alarms because there's lots of like it's a security alarm, so they need to go through it. So problem, it is not scalable because they have to hire actually extra staff to clear these alarms. So here we provide the solution is that we have built an AI software like which goes through these alarms and resolve these false alarms using our in-house deep learning and machine learning algorithms. And we also detect tailgating alarm, which is not possible using existing physical security software. And so that's how we actually completely reduce the noise. And the impact is that our AI assistance now is helping the security team to work smarter rather than working harder. And so it's a US based startup. We are completely in US, and we are pretty young. We are just 2 years old company, and we also raised $4 million US dollar seed funding. And So we are currently close to 10 folks right now. 7 of us are engineers, and I'm also one of them. And I actually work leading mostly the infrastructure part of it. And so yeah, so that's it, I think. But so I can share my details of our company website, and yeah, I can share one. So here, so we are also looking to hire like engineers in front end, back end, computer vision, and these areas. And so this is a website. So we are completely in B2B domain. So most of that. So only we deal with so all the companies which needs to automate their security system, we reach out to them. And yeah, so you can reach out to me on, this is my mail ID and this is my mobile number. And we are actively hiring. And we are a team of IIT Madras and IIT Bombay and BITS planning. And yes, I can answer any questions maybe right now or maybe later as well. And brief intro about myself. I am was from Hostel 3, and I joined in 2005 in a dual degree program of computer science engineering. Yeah, I'm from pass out at 2010 batch. Yeah.
Thanks, Chandmohan. I think this brings to the end of session, at least from the showcase piece, right? Now, what we'll do is we'll quickly go ahead and spend some time on a Q&A session. So, any one of you have any questions for any of the startups that?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I am Utsav Rao, and I am 2017 batch MTech from IIT Bombay. Well, I do not have any questions, but I seek some solutions from any startup. I am a bureaucrat and I am Indian Engineering Services Officer working at Rail Wheel Factory, Bangalore. The problem is that we have a lot of waste, especially a fume dust, graphite ingot sleeves, graphite clay stoppers. So we want some startup who are working in the waste to wealth sector and waste management. So the one who can solve our problem of this waste management. So if any, then please do contact me. And if it's a Bangalore-based startup, then they can visit my factory, Railway Factory, Yelanka. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. You can also post your queries in the chat box. I can take it to.
Yeah, I will put my contact details and query on chat box.
I think for everyone else also, I think if you have query and you don't want to speak, you can put your query in the chat box and also the company name that you have query for.
Hi, I'm Karthik. I have a question for Priyansh. So I found the product very interesting, and the main plan of the project is to remove excessive nutrients from or heavy metals from the water bodies. So I don't know how these nutrients are introduced in the water bodies. So will this be a one-time project for each water body, or will it need to be continuously be kept inside the water body to, like, for years to come and clean it up regularly? Hello.
I think Priyanshu has left, so maybe we will transfer your question. We'll say, ask him to connect.
The queries to him.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Sanjay from Sandosa. I have a question for Chandramohan.
Yeah, hey,
so
hi.
Hi, I actually want to know, so how is your customer base looking now? Like, you got a real customer or you still in POC status?
No, we have customers and we have demo sessions. So some customers are in POC as well. But right now our customer details are not public, so I can't share. But yeah, we have customers.
So you have real customers lined
Yeah,
up?
real customers, yeah, actually.
Very good, awesome.
Thank you. So we are actually pure AI company as well. Like we are our company actually we do use AI, and that's the core of us. And actually what we are doing is something unique as well. Like physical security, if you compare cyber security and physical security system, cyber security system has reached lots of innovations and all, whereas physical security is still in 90s. So what you see, we work with this access control and video management system. So we basically, those are the softwares, those are the companies are like they have written in 90s, and so they have never innovated themselves. So we are like basically trying to, our solution is actually evolving physical security to the level at cyber security. That's our actually goal as well.
Yeah, this has a huge potential. Like even the home security camera, right?
Yeah.
It keeps sending email even though it is a owner roaming around, right?
Yeah.
So it has to have knowledge that this guy is the owner. I don't have to keep sending the alarm, right?
Yeah,
keep sending email. So yeah, so that what you're building has a huge potential. I can see that.
Yeah, it has actually. So it's a $40 billion business market. So
yeah.
it is, and the problem is there is the problem is it's still dependent on the old system, and solutions are many, but implementation is actually hard. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Chandra, Nilesh here. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I work with Honeywell for almost like 10 years, and I was looking for access control, surveillance, and safety security. So I understand the importance from the enterprise point of view.
Yeah, true.
So I worked in the prominently UX UI. So you need some help, just let me know. I would like to connect with you offline. I will send you in.
Yeah, you can reach out to me. My number is also there. And
yeah, I wrote it down. I will send email to you.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Chandra, you have posted your details, right? On the, you can repost it so that everyone else can check it again, right? There's a message from Deepak in the group. Anybody for all these startups, I think you should go and check on Intel.in startup program for your benefit.
Yeah, Intel startup program. Okay. Sure. Anyway, I will drop again the email. And yeah. Okay.
Any other questions, anyone? So what we'll also do is we'll share all the details, email ID and phone numbers. The people who need, you can mail us. We will get you in touch with the individual founders and also the business companies that you're looking at. We'll get you connected for any reason. It could be an investment, it could be a requirement, it could be a business deal, partnership, whatever you're looking at. Do reach back to us. We will connect you up over here. I think all the founders have shared their details. And you can also mail them directly. In case you want to post it to us, Regis has shared the email ID in the chat. It's bengaluru-chapter@iitbombay.org, right? And we'll definitely get you connected with the people over there, right? So great. I think if you don't have questions, further question on this, this brings to us. This brings to the closure of the session. What we'll do is we'll just try to have a group photo. So we'll request all the people to switch on their camera, and we'll take a screenshot of the photo. We'll circulate with everyone, and then I'll just formally close the session on that, right? So why don't you guys just go ahead and switch on your cameras, video cameras, and quickly take a snapshot. Regis, why don't you take a snapshot while everyone's switching off the cameras?
Abhishek, I'm connected through phone. Could you please do it?
All right, I'll do that. Yes. So let me see if I can. It's difficult to accommodate everyone, but I think I'll try to take multiple photos. All right, so Ashish, Shubham, you guys mind switching on your cameras? I think there are quite a few cameras also switched off right now. So one taken, and I'll go to the second screen. Oh, second screen, a lot of cameras are not switched on. So guys, can you switch on your cameras?
It's not allowing us to switch on.
Is it possible to allow them on? No.
I don't think any setting is there for like camera problem. Like
Okay, anyhow, I think I'll just take a picture of all the people who have switched on the cameras. So great. I think this is towards the end of the session. I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank Lata Madam especially to take out time, and she has shared her details. I think whenever you guys are there in ITB corridors, do ring her up. I think she invited for coffee or tea. She's available over there. And I would like to thank first of all the organizers for this meeting who took the pain and reached out to the founders and arranged for a wonderful session. This kind of session, I think, help us all to connect with each other, and I think with the network we can definitely get to the next leg of our startup journey and wherever we want to achieve that, right? I would like to thank Regis, like to thank Vidyut. Vidyut unfortunately is not here. He had some work, so he had to leave. I'd like to thank Naveen and all the members of the issue. And at last, I'd also like to thank all the founders of the startup, starting with Vinod, Priyanshu, Sunil, again Vinod from Arju, Naveen, Nilesh, Durga Prasad, and Chandramohan Meena. It was a pleasure to have you over here and to listen to your ideas and go through your presentation. I think we'll keep conducting this session all the time, and we'll get back to you, all of you. Promise that get back to all of you with a brand new session on yet another set of startups in our next discussion. Just stay tuned. That's all for today. Thank you all. Thank you, team.